Hi, this is Kelsey Jaeger, and this is my informative speech. According to the American Psychiatry Association, nearly 3.5% of American adults will be affected by post-traumatic stress disorder at some point in their lives, but only 1 in 11 people will be diagnosed. Someone you know, like a loved one, may have experienced PTSD or is experiencing PTSD right now, but you may go through PTSD at some point in your future life. Throughout high school, I've read about post-traumatic stress disorder and talked to multiple different veterans about their experience with PTSD, and I have also done extensive research over PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental disorder with several different causes, symptoms, and multiple treatments to treat different symptoms. This diagram from Forbes shows the different components of PTSD, including the different causes, the different symptoms, treatments, and diagnoses. Let's first look at the different causes of post-traumatic stress disorder. According to Mayo Clinic, PTSD can be developed by experiencing, seeing, or even learning about an event. They also stated that a traumatic event is anywhere from a war or a serious injury, an actual death or threatened death, to and abuse like sexual, physical, or emotional abuse. Mayo Clinic states that the mix of these traumatic events, inherited genes and genetics, and how each individual brain works can cause some people to get PTSD and others not to. This diagram from Very Well Mind breaks down the components of the different causes, such as the traumatic event, neurological or how brains function, and inherited genes and genetics. Let's look at how those causes change into symptoms. According to Medline Plus, there are 4 different categories of symptoms. These are re-experiencing, reactivity or arousal, avoidance or numbing, and cognition symptoms. They first stated that someone can go through re-experiencing or flashbacks, nightmares, and dreams of the event, and they may experience avoidance or numbing, which is avoiding people, places, thoughts, or feelings about the traumatic event. They also stated that someone with PTSD can experience reactivity or arousal, which is feeling tense and feeling different than how they normally would. They also experience different cognition symptoms, which is getting negative thoughts or trouble remembering the traumatic event. Now let's look at how those symptoms can be suppressed by different treatments. According to the American Psychiatry Association, there are various therapies and medications that someone can take or go through to help them suppress their symptoms. They first stated the different therapies, which include processing therapy, which helps modify the negative emotions that they experience, prolonged exposure therapy, which uses the imagining of the traumatic event and triggers to help the patient cope and learn to cope different ways. And they can also go to group therapy, which is getting into a group and allowing them to talk with different survivors and different people who have PTSD. Lastly, they said that they can take multiple different medications to help control the symptoms of PTSD, and with the control of these symptoms, it can allow those with PTSD to feel more comfortable going to therapies. In conclusion, post-traumatic stress disorder is a serious disorder with several different causes and symptoms and various treatments to treat different symptoms. You may not experience post-traumatic stress disorder yourself, but there's a very high chance that someone you know could experience it and can be going through it right now. Post-traumatic stress disorder can be easily misdiagnosed due to its similarities to other mental disorders, but with the information from before, this will allow for less misdiagnoses and help those get their correct treatment.